Hello everybody, my name is Rafflington and today's video is going to be about the expertise stat in TBC Classic. This was a stat introduced by Blizzard in patch 2.3, but if we assume a 2.4.3 patch environment, this stat will be available to players from the very start of TBC Classic. So we will go over what exactly it is, give an overview of how it works. We will give example gear with expertise. This is what you can expect from TBC. We will look at expertise ratios and talents. These are ratios and talents that certain races and classes have that deal with expertise. We will look at it for PvP, for DPS, and for tanking. So what is expertise? Well, 1 point of expertise means that the target has a 0.25% reduced chance to dodge and parry your melee attacks. Now, you don't get a one-on-one conversion from expertise on gear to expertise on your stats. 3.9423 expertise rating from gear means 1 expertise at level 70. Something to keep in mind is that the game truncates all decimals when calculating expertise. So even if the expertise rating you have would have given you 17.99 expertise, the game still counts just the 17 expertise. It drops all the decimal points that are after that. Just to keep in mind, same level mobs have 5% base chance to dodge and parry your attacks. So here's some example gear that you can get with expertise. So Edgemaster's Handguards, this is an old piece of gear that Warrior DPS wants forever. It's BIS. What does this get converted into? Edgemaster's Handguards becomes this with 19 hit rating and 17 expertise rating. Not bad, but for comparison, this is Grips of Deathness. This is from Karazhan Trash Drop, and it has your 15 expertise, which is comparable to Edgemaster's Handguards, but a lot more primary stats elsewhere, 29 agility, 60 attack power. So you're not going to be using Edgemaster's Handguards once you get into TBC. Just as an example, more gear with expertise. We got the Shot Truck leggings from Arcatraz Key Quest Chain. And this is something that every melee DPS can reasonably get and should get, because you want to get the Arcatraz Key quest done anyway for that key. This is the Shapeshifter Signet from Lower City Exalted, something that warrior tanks, druid tanks, and every melee DPS will be gunning for and should gun for once TBC Classic comes out. And of course, Shard of Content from Magister's Terrace Heroic. Unfortunately, it's not available at the start, but at the very end with Sunwell patch, but it is a very good melee trinket indeed. And this is Latra's Shifting Sword from Black Morass Normal, pre-BIS for combat rogue DPS. It is very good even for warrior tanks because of that 1.4 weapon speed and 14 expertise. Very good sword. Now there are expertise ratios and talents to consider when playing TBC Classic. You will have the sword specialization and the mace specialization for humans. This increases expertise, not expertise rating, expertise with swords, maces, two-handed swords and two-handed maces by 5. So that's an equivalent to a 1.25% less chance for your attacks to be dodged or parried if you're wearing a sword or a mace. Very handy for humans indeed. That's why human rogues remain top-notch for DPS. Orcs get the axe specialization, which is pretty much the same thing except with axes. And there are talents that consider expertise in their talent trees as well. So combat rogues get weapon expertise, which increases your expertise by 10. This is the highest increase of any talent out there, actually, and you only need 2 points in order to get it. Very nice. And for DPS warriors, this may not look like expertise if you look at it from first glance, but 2% reduced chance to be dodged means 8 expertise from a DPS perspective, because remember, 4 expertise equals 1% less chance for your attacks to be dodged and parried, but you only get parried from the front. So for DPS warriors, this is a very nice DPS increase. Now for prot warriors, They get expertise as well. Defiance gets converted into this with only 3 points needed, increasing your threat and your expertise by 6. Expertise by 6 means that your attacks have that much less of a chance to be dodged and parried by the boss. Very good for threat indeed, very important. Now, prop paladins don't consider expertise nearly as much, but they do have a talent that goes there. Increase your expertise by 5 and your total stamina by 10%. Very cool indeed. Now, expertise in PvP is generally considered to be a not priority stat, as some abilities cannot be dodged or parried, like a warrior's overpower. Players have variable chances to dodge and parry based on their class, gear, buffs, talents, and abilities. Players cannot dodge or parry from behind, unlike mobs who can dodge from behind. And not every class can parry to begin with. Only warriors, paladins, rogues, hunters, and enhancement shamans can. So based on these variabilities and abilities in the match and other stat priorities that need higher attention, this means that expertise in PvP is not generally a priority stat to be considered when itemizing for PvP. But do keep in mind that it can help you at times. Now, expertise for DPS is pretty simple. You should really DPS a boss from the side or behind to avoid your attacks being parried. This is bad not only for you, the DPS, but also for your tank, as you'll see later in this presentation. For every level a mob has above you as the player, it gains a 0.5%, that is 0.5% chance to dodge a melee attack. This means that bosses who are treated to be 3 levels higher than you have a 6.5% chance to dodge your melee attacks. This means you need 26 expertise, including your racials and talents, to not be dodged. This translates to 103 expertise rating from your gear without any bonuses. That's your cap. That's what you should strive to hit. It's pretty simple for DPS. Now, expertise for tanking is a little bit more complicated as there's Parry and Parry Haste involved. This is more applicable for warrior and druid tanks, not so much a paladin tank, as a paladin tank generates majority of its threat from spells and being hit. But for warrior and druid tanks, landing more abilities means more threat. More threat means more damage that you can put on the boss without pulling threat from the boss. So for warrior and druid tanks, expertise is an invaluable stat, especially in speed clears where you want to generate as much threat as possible. And expertise mechanic helps them out a lot because 1 expertise means a 0.25% reduction in being dodged and parried. So they get to double dip up to that 6.5% dodge cap we discussed earlier with DPS. Now, Blizzard confirmed in WoW Classic that bosses have 14% chance to parry melee attacks. Old elitist threads, which studied expertise in detail, theorized the parry cap for tanks to be around 15%. So 14% seems like a reasonable number that will carry over into TBC Classic. So assuming 14% chance to parry, we're going to need 56 expertise not to be parried. That is a lot of expertise, and it translates to 221 expertise rating. This will certainly not be achievable at the start of the expansion. In fact, it won't be achievable until Sunwell comes out. But do keep this in mind as we get higher and higher in gear levels. Now, here's some gear that you can get later on in TBC Classic. This is from badges. You can get it from the badge vendor in Shatra City in patch 2.3. It got added then. Same thing with Brooch of Deftness. Very good item for threat. And of course, the Steely Narrow Sliver from Muru in Sunwell. 54 expertise rating is a lot of expertise. Now, Parry Haste works the same way in TBC Classic as it does in WoW Classic currently, but for those who don't know, when the boss parries your attack, time to its next main hand attack is reduced as follows. If there's more than 60% time remaining until its next attack, the time till next attack will be reduced by 40% of weapon speed. So if the boss has a 2-second swing time and you get parried by the boss, with the boss having more than 60% time remaining till that next swing, that next swing is going to come out 0.8 seconds faster. This is very bad for you as a tank who will be taking more damage. If there's between 20 and 60% time remaining, the time till next attack will be reduced by 20% of weapon speed, or for our hypothetical boss with 2-second swing time, 0.4 seconds. If there's less than 20% time remaining, there will be no reduction. So how does expertise help with Parry Haste? Well, expertise straight up reduces the chance a boss parries your attack. This is, as we discussed, not only good for threat, but also for reduction in getting your attacks parried for Parry Haste. So it reduces the chance that a boss attack will come out faster, which means less damage taken for you, the tank. Now this is especially useful on slow, hard-hitting bosses or bosses with Thrash/Wind Fury-like mechanics that you want to minimize, where you want to minimize damage from. So bosses like Archimon that hits slow and hard, Prince Malchezaar of Karazhan that has the Thrash mechanic, and Fathom Guard Tidal Vest, which has Wind Fury that you want to minimize as well. So yeah, this has been a comprehensive overview of the expertise stat in the Burning Crusade Classic. Again, my name is Rafflington. I'll be coming out with more guides for the Burning Crusade Classic in the future, so if you like what you see, please like and subscribe and leave a comment down below. It really helps to get a new channel going if you do so. Thank you very much for watching.